Hi, I'm Daniel, known as the Jungle Boy, and may the 4th be with you. Today, we're super excited to launch TooSexy 11. We've been working on this new release for over half a year now, and I would just love to show you a little bit of what we've improved and enhanced and what's still coming. So for the next about 3 to 5 minutes, I'm just going to give you a brief walkthrough of what you're going to get with TooSexy 11. So here goes. This is our development environment, and I mean, you know the TooSexy experience with all the buttons popping up. One minor detail, just so that you can always tell if it's a TooSexy 10 or 11, the 11 has an ellipsis with little circles in it, and that way you can immediately know if you're managing like hundreds of websites, which one is using 11 and which one is still using a previous version. So basically what we've been working on right now is everything in the background, so the admin cockpit. So for example, this was previously implemented in AngularJS. Now in Angular 11, it's much slicker, much nicer, and sexier, of course. So we still have all the same features, but it just looks a lot nicer. In addition, most of the things use nice modern material buttons to do things like importing stuff, etc. Now, I'm going to close this briefly, and right now we would only like to talk about an app like this news app here. And so I'm just going to go to the app settings and show you what has changed here. As you can tell, the whole UI has been updated dramatically. And here as well, we have the plus button in the corner, and we can just start working with this just like we did previously. We have all the loved features and functions, but as you can quickly tell, the UI has just been modernized dramatically. What I really like about this is that each table now can be sorted and filtered and whatever you want to do. Like if you would like to find out which one has the most items, well, just sort by that. If you would rather know which one has the most fields, also not a problem. We can filter for things, and anything that has an ID, you can just click on the ID and it'll copy that to your clipboard. That's great for like really complicated development work where you just quickly need a global unique ID, and it's just a nuisance to copy, paste, and type. What we've also surfaced is a hidden feature so far, because in TooSexy, we have like all these tables. These are the tables for the current app. But for example, maybe you have a custom input type. Well, those things are hidden back here in these schemas here. Maybe you have some other system functionality that you'd like to do some debugging on. Now you can switch back and forth. You do get the warning because this is for advanced users, but it's now much more accessible. So let's look what happened with the queries. Well, these just look mostly the same initially, so we'll just look at them. We have the plus button. We can also import a new query that we've exported from another application. We can, of course, copy paste the IDs. And what's, of course, awesome and part of the whole update is we now have a query designer in a much more modern UI. So it still does the same stuff. We can see what happens here with all the connections, how the data flows. We can still run tests and see how much data comes through each pipe in the query. But as you can tell, the whole experience has been modernized dramatically, and I'm sure you'll love it. And this is very important for us because we've been holding back on any new features for the last almost 2 years in this section because we knew we'd have to do it twice. Now we're ready for that. Let's have a quick peek at the views. Same thing. It's all been enhanced a lot. We have icons telling you what is happening. We have much more information in the table, and of course you can sort by these things as well if you want to. And one of the most asked for features in a long time is to be able to edit the code directly from here. Same thing as before, we have a new look. We even have folders now. We have special hints about anything that's kind of unusual. We can create files directly from here. We have snippets to help us get things done very quickly. So this is just going to make your life so much easier, and we're really excited. Another thing we have down here is polymorphism. I'll have another blog about that soon, so I'm not going to talk about that much more. Web API, also great enhancements. I can now create a new API controller directly from here. It'll just create it, and everything just works, just like you wanted. And yeah, that's just a very quick walkthrough of what we did. We're sure you're going to love it. Do give it a try. download, test it. We've been using and testing this in production for a while already, so we're pretty certain it still works just like you need it. One special note, if you do run into trouble, you can always just use the previous Alt key. So let's say you would need the old admin UI because something broke. Just hit Alt and click again, and you'll get the old UI just like we had in the old days. We're going to keep this in the distribution for another maybe 1 or 2 months, and then we're going to remove it. But if anything goes wrong, it's always here. So it's a pretty safe no-brainer. You can just go ahead. We have way more features waiting for you. Anything from WebP image support to Razor code behind, the polymorphism I just mentioned before. We're going to release a post every day now, starting from today, May the 4th, for at least the next 11 days, since that's our release. So I hope you love this, and I would like to give a special thanks to all the people that helped here. Most of all, Petar from Croatia, from Sistemi. He did almost all the stuff you just saw here. Another big thanks to Aaron. He's been updating a lot of apps in the background, which we're going to release in the next few days. Roman, he's also been working on a lot of the apps. Tom for the design stuff. So thank you everybody for helping so much. We're really excited. Do try it, and please leave some feedback in the blog on TooSexy.org, just so we know what's happening, that you love it. Thank you. Daniel from TooSec Internet Solutions in Switzerland.